Call is being recorded.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We are here at Akana, and my name is Phyllis Nash. I am one of the co-founders and glad to be here this morning. And as we come upon this Wednesday, we are always looking for our dynamic world travel, motivational, inspirational, marketing VP of Training and Development, our own Dan Johnson. And I'm going to go out here and see if he is on the line. I didn't get a call from him this morning, but he's here. I see him. So, dear, hit star and unmute yourself, and then close us out as you end. Take it away.
All right. What's happening? The Carter family? What a wonderful. Did I say wonderful? Absolutely. I said wonderful. What another wonderful day to be alive. And I'm going to tell you, every day is a wonderful day to be alive, because every day that we live this thing called life is an opportunity to live it better. Every day that we live this thing called life is an opportunity to live it better. And oftentimes I ask the question, what are we going to do? I ask the question even for myself, what am I going to do to take advantage of the opportunity? What am I going to do to seize the moment? What am I going to do in order to make today better than yesterday? And Phyllis, I just want to take this moment, as always, to just thank you for being absolutely amazing. I truly appreciate who you are and all that you do to help entrepreneurs become successful, to reach their goals, achieve their dreams, and see financial independence become a reality. And so here's the deal. I woke up this morning, I realized that today is, we're getting close to the end of February. And for those of us that are colored, those of us that are of African American nature, this is Black History Month for us. And I said, well, let me think. What is one word when I think about Black history? When I think about Black history, when I think about the historical context of our people, what is one word that can best describe who we are as a people? And that one word that came to mind is resilience. Because African Americans, we have had to be, throughout the course of history, we've had to be resilient. Resilience is the ability to adapt and bounce back in the face of adversity, challenges, setbacks, or trauma. It involves remaining flexible, maintaining a positive outlook, and effectively coping with stress and uncertainty and difficulty in circumstances. Resilience speaks to individuals that have been able to rise above the trauma of their lives and triumph while in it. Resilience, it speaks to our ability to withstand and to recover from adversity and to learn and grow stronger as a result of the experiences that we have had. And so when I think of this word resilience, I also begin to equate this word as being a necessary characteristic, a necessary tool in order for us to be successful in business, in our business endeavors. If we're going to be successful in business, we're going to have to be resilient. We're going to have to be resilient because the truth of the matter is, in business, we're going to suffer adversity. In business, we're going to suffer challenges. In business, we're going to have setbacks. In business, we're going to suffer some blows and some hardship. And in order for us to be able to remain, to be successful and reach our goals, we're going to have to be resilient. And so today, I'm going to give you a few points that I believe is necessary for a resilient entrepreneur. Yeah. Those of you that know, I'm out there on social media, Dan D. Johnson. On Instagram is Dan D. Johnson _. I want you to put something out there, tag and post, I am a resilient entrepreneur, and tag me in it. You're on Facebook, Dan D. Johnson. I want you to put out there, I am a resilient entrepreneur, and tag me in it, because here's what I want you to understand. Resilience is the number one resource. Listen to this. Resilience is the number one resource for success. Yep, I'm saying it. Resilience is the number one resource for success. And now I'm going to finish that sentence. After suffering failure. Resilience is the number one resource for success after suffering failure. What do you mean? So number one, in order to be resilient, you're going to have to cultivate a growth mindset. Your mindset is going to have to be cultivated for growth. That means you have to embrace the belief that challenges and failures are nothing more than opportunities for growth and learning. I was coaching someone on yesterday, and we were having some conversation. And while we were having conversation, they suffered a hardship. They were waiting on big news that was going to literally, this news was going to catapult their business to potentially triple figure millions. So hundreds of millions of dollars was on the line, and they got the word that they did not get the deal. And so, of course, this person was upset. This person was struggling. They couldn't figure out. They had been working on this for the last 9 months, and they called and they text me to let me know what happened. And I said, to God be the glory. It was one of my Christian clients. I said, to God be the glory. I said that the will of the Father will prevail. I began to share with them that all things will work together for their good. That is a mindset. That is a mindset. You have one or two opportunities in the moment, at the face of setbacks. The first opportunity you have is to wallow in the setback, to roll around in it, to have a pity party in the corner for yourself, to be consumed with disappointment and really be paralyzed by what didn't happen. Or you could look at it from the perspective of what is it that I can take away from this that can make me better? How is it that I can learn from this that I can become better? What is it? And watch this, and maybe this wasn't it, but there's something better that's on the horizon. You gotta have that kind of mindset. You got to view setbacks as temporary obstacles rather than insurmountable barriers. You got to be able to focus on the lessons and experiences gained from them more so than the impact that the setback has had on you. The next thing that I want to help you to understand is you got to develop self-awareness. So number one, cultivate a growth mindset. Number two, develop self-awareness. You got to take time to understand your strengths. You got to take time to understand your weaknesses. You got to take time to understand your triggers for stress and anxiety, because these things is very much so a part of who you are. And when you develop self-awareness, you also develop emotional intelligence that helps you to be able to recover, watch this, recover from the fall. You got to be able to do that. By developing self-awareness, you can better anticipate and manage your reactions to adversity. This would allow you to respond more effectively and more resiliently. When I know what my triggers are, I'm able to get a sense and feel for what's happening internally. And then I can recalibrate myself so that when I respond, I don't respond out of the frustration of the setback, but I respond from a posture and a position of being able to leverage that setback to be successful. Yeah, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? So we all got triggers. Listen, Coach Dan has triggers. Coach Dan has triggers. Yep, I got triggers. And I was about to tell you some of my triggers, but that may cause us a setback. we don't have that much time for me to tell you about triggers. But what I want you to do is I want you to develop a growth mindset. Number two, I want you to develop self-awareness. Number three, when in order to be resilient, you got to have a supportive network. One of the things that I've learned is that when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, you must have a supportive network around you that believes in you, that understands you, that's willing to tell you the truth, and that's also willing to help you to recover when needed. Surround yourself around people that's going to encourage, that's going to provide guidance, that's going to provide perspective during these difficult times. You got to lean on those that believes in what you're doing, those who has a voice by which you can trust, that you will be willing to listen to when you're going through. Are you understanding me? And this is why, listen, Coach Dan has been reevaluating every relationship in his life, because I've learned that I got more people pulling from me than pouring into me. And every time, and I've learned that I could count on one hand and a couple of fingers that when I'm experiencing setback, when I'm experiencing disappointment, I only have a handful of folk that I can reach out to that's going to help me and walk me through it. And so what I've learned is I got to begin to look at my network, and those that are not, and I have, watch this, begin to look at my network and see who is part of the problem. See, some of us got people in our network that's part of the problem that we're experiencing in our lives. And it becomes a hindrance to our ability to grow because they're not helping us, they're pulling us down. And when we're down, we can't find them. And if we find them, they have nothing of value that they can offer to help you. I don't want to stay there. I don't want to stay there. So you got to, number one, cultivate a growth mindset. Number two, develop self-awareness. Number three, build a supportive network. Number four, you have to learn how to practice adaptability. So you got to be willing to adapt. Coach says this all the time. You got to be flexible enough so you don't get bent out of shape. You got to be like that ice cube. I don't know if you guys remember, I talked to you about the ice cube that's in the bucket. And when you sit an ice cube in a bucket of water, over a period of time, the ice cube becomes one with the environment that it's in. However, it also has the ability to change the temperature of that environment based on who it is. And so you got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to adjust. And sometimes you have to adapt and adjust your approach in response to changing circumstances and unexpected challenges. You must develop flexibility in your thinking and problem-solving abilities, allowing you to navigate these obstacles and be able to creatively provide resilience while in it. What are you saying? I'm saying to you that stuff is going to happen. Life is going to happen. These unexpected moments of inconvenience is going to happen. And you cannot, listen, Coach Dan, Phyllis would tell you, Coach Dan would get extremely frustrated when his time is being messed with. He'll tell you, I don't play with my time. Because every time I give you a piece of my time, I'm giving you a piece of my life. And see, some people, some of the most unsuccessful people are the people that don't value time. Y'all could tag me in and say I said it. Some of the most unsuccessful people are people that don't value time. When you look at time as a commodity for your life, and that every day you give some of your time to a person, you're giving them a piece of your life. And some people, they ask you for your time, but they don't pay you for your time. They ask you for your time, but they waste your time. They ask you for your time, but they don't appreciate your time. And I'm telling you that you must understand, yes, you should be adaptive. You have to practice adaptability, but at the same time, you got to make certain that you don't allow people to waste your time. I told the client was paying me about $30,000 a year as a consultant. And we were doing what we were doing, but I knew that we could do better. I wanted to do better, but I couldn't do better because of the client that I had. And so I reconstructed the relationship. I renegotiated the business arrangement. And the reason that I did it, I told him this. I said, you cannot pay me to waste my time. You can't pay me to waste my time. So you gotta have it. So as I get ready to bring this thing to a close, one of the things that I want you to do is I want you, in the midst of being resilient, you have to practice self-care. What do you mean? If you're physically out of shape, you're going to be ultimately become mentally out of shape. You're not going to have the mental capacity to facilitate setbacks and challenges and adversity if you don't have the physical strength to do it. And so you got to practice self-care. You got to prioritize your physical and your emotional and your mental well-being, and engage in activities that will promote relaxation, that will promote stress reduction, that will promote rejuvenation. So some of these things are managing your weight, as many of us on the line is doing. And I'm telling you, self-care in and of itself can be challenging. Eating right is challenging. Working out every day is challenging. In order to have that body that you want, in order to have that healthy lifestyle that you want, that's also going to take resilience. And so as I leave you, I got a whole bunch of more stuff that I can share with you, but I want to just leave you with some of the people that you may have heard of that throughout our African American history that showed resilience. If you think about Frederick Douglass, born into slavery, he escaped bondage and became a prominent abolitionist, writer, creator. Come on, he showed resilience. Harriet Tubman, known as the Moses of her people, escaped slavery and showed resilience. Booker T. Washington, born into slavery and rose to become a leading educator, author, civil rights activist. He showed resilience. Rosa Parks, referred to the mother of the civil rights movement. She showed resilience. Dr. King showed resilience. Maya Angelou showed resilience. Barack Obama showed resilience. And so when you think about this, also there's some entrepreneurs and there's some key international figures that showed resilience. Steve Jobs, fired from the company that he founded, went on to find two more companies, and then came back to the company that he originally founded and took it to the next level. Steve Jobs showed resilience. J.K. Rowling, y'all know who J.K. Rowling is, the author of the Harry Potter series. She faced numerous rejections, said that she couldn't write, she was unequipped, and all of those kind of things, but she stayed with it. Tyler Perry stayed with it. Oprah Winfrey stayed with it. Michael Jordan, cut from the basketball team, stayed with it. What caused them to stay with it is a relentless resilience to win and to overcome the challenges that they may have had in their lives. And so here it is, as I close in this next 60 seconds, here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want to encourage you to be resilient. And all of the challenges, all of the adversity, all of the things that you go through in building business, I want you to be resilient. I want you to be resilient. Listen, Coach Dan, we got a bunch of stuff that's happening, and I want to give our Akana family an opportunity to tap into some of these things that we have going on. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to dandjohnson.com and just put in your name and your email, say, I'd like some updates. We got some webinars that's going to be happening by which those of you that are part of Akana, I'm going to give you access to join us in those things, absolutely, in the ones that we have coming up, absolutely free. But some other folks that's outside of this network that they're paying, they're registering and all of those things right now, to become part of these things that we're doing, what I want you to do is just go to dandjohnson.com, dandjohnson.com, because we're going to be helping you to navigate some of these things that we teach for 15 minutes. We're going to expand them. We're going to have strategies and things of that nature. But the upcoming webinars, I'm going to offer to you absolutely free. But in order to do so, you got to go online to dandjohnson.com and give us your name and email address and join this network. Listen, I want you to have a resilient kind of day. I want you to know that you are empowered to be everything you are created to be. You are empowered to do everything you put your mind, your will, your hands to do. You are empowered to overcome every detour, every roadblock that comes your way. You can do all things through Christ that gives you the strength. And I speak this over your life, that today will be the best day of your life. In Jesus' name. Until next time, y'all have been given all of the announcements. You know what you're supposed to be doing. I look forward to talking to you soon. And as always, prosper and be blessed.